Fleur Flakes. I'm going to show you this new product from Fleur, Italy. They do come up with some very interesting, innovative products that I like. Do you like terrazzo? That kind of look? Do you know what I mean? Well, Fleur have come up with this 3-part system where you put down a primer, quite a thick primer. Then you chuck the flakes in, that's kind of up my street. And then you leave it 24 hours to dry. And then you sand it, sounds, you know, dodgy, doesn't it? Then you sand the flakes so that you get a smooth finish. And then you finish it off with a top coat of a very thick varnish. It's a specific varnish for this. It's thicker than your Fleur varnishes are actually quite thin, which is quite nice. This is a thick one because you want to kind of coat exactly all the Fleur Flakes. So I just want to show you the different colours it comes in. Can you see? So I'm going to use this one because I fancy painting. This is a sideboard. It's kind of like a retro sideboard. So I fancy painting the rest of it either in like a dark grey or, if I'm brave enough, the green. But you can also use it on like little small projects. In fact, with all these things, it's always a good idea, I think, sometimes to test it out on a small project, which I haven't done. This is my test. Anyway, I put a coat of the primer down yesterday because I kind of wanted to see what it was like. Now, Kate did warn me that the primer is quite thick, so it can leave brush strokes, but you're covering it up with all this, and then you're going to sand anyway. So anyway, I am going to this time, so I tried just one coat and it was like painting glue. I've tried one coat and now I'm going to just put a second coat on. I actually don't think you need to do 2 coats. It's that thick. She says throwing her paintbrush everywhere. Here we go. So I'm just going to roller it on because I'm just thinking that if there's any texture that shows through, you know, like if you've got any gaps in your, I'm thinking that a pickly kind of effect will look better than brush strokes. So here you go. Yeah, it is quite thick. Can you see that? So I'm going to roller it on with my trusty Staumeister roller. And then we are going to chuck the flakes on. And then you leave it for 24 hours and come back and sand. Okay, here goes. So although this is a primer, this is the technique I use all the time with rollering. I'm not mean with my rollering. I don't tend to, people want to press really hard, trying to get, you know, as good coverage as that, you know, make the paint go as far as they can, but you just end up with track marks. So I tend to like getting the paint on, you know, obviously roll it backwards and forwards in your tray to get nice absorption in your roller, and then I like to come back lightly with the roller and let the roller kind of lay off the paint, if that makes sense. Now I hope this is going to be thick enough, as I am using a roller, but so I think I'll go over it. So this is, you know, my normal technique for painting with a roller. This is just a means to an end to get this on the surface thick enough to give the chips something to kind of get absorbed into, if that makes sense. So I'm going to really put this on quite thick. Yeah, I don't think that's thick enough. And I'm not too worried about texture or anything because you know, this is all going to get covered up with my terrazzo flakes. I'm so excited for this. So nice to get a new product to play about with, isn't it? That's what I like doing. So there's a couple of bits there that aren't terrazzo like. So I'm gonna, okay. Okay, I'm actually gonna, just because I can't bear it, just lightly come back over. But this is going to be really, really tough. This is going to be a really nice, tough finish. People are using it on floors. You put 2 coats of varnish, no, 3 coats actually, of this particular varnish that they recommend for it. And it's good enough for floors, which I think is amazing. I'm not going to tell Tony though. Right, okay. So apparently you fling the flakes. Fling them, but I don't know. Oh, I'm sprinkling them. Oh my God. Right, hold on. Let me turn the camera down so you can see what is going on. Now, oh, it's so cool. It's like Christmas. So where it kind of bunches up, you're going to, the flakes aren't going to stick, are they? They're only going to stick where the paint is. So apparently a flinging action is good. Oh, yes. I can see why, because you get nice kind of like what looks more genuine clumps of the flakes in it. Let me get some down here because I'm worried that's a bit thin, that little area there. So this is fun. And the colour is amazing. I really like this bit of green in it as well. This kind of like jadey green. Fling, fling, fling. Oh, this is fun. So how simple is that? One coat of primer, chuck this stuff on top, come back after 24 hours, sand it, and then a couple of coats of varnish on the top. And you have a whole new surface. You can use this for kitchen worktops, all sorts of things. Now, I am dropping bits on the floor. If I'd been clever enough to do as Kate suggested, this is Kate Whitson I'm talking about, I'm not talking about myself, you know. I could have put a bit of plastic down, so anything that kind of falls to the floor, I could reuse. So that's quite good, because that's a whole, this is a whole top of a sideboard, and I haven't even used up half the flakes. Don't you find with these things that are kind of a random effect, it's quite hard to be random? Ooh, you can't see, but this is lovely. Right, I'm trying to get it right to the edge so that it looks like a continuous piece, but that's when all the bits are falling on the floor. Ooh, I'm liking this. And the grey is great as well, really making these colours pop. Oh, I love it. Well, I think I've done nearly enough. Where, I just want to make sure there's not too many gappy bits. Yeah, and definitely tomorrow I'm going to be careful. I might just brush it down actually, and so that I don't waste any of the precious flakes. So that is literally half a jar gone. So imagine what you could do, and obviously you can do a much more sparse effect than what I've done. I'm just trying to, I don't know, cover up this whole surface really. So that's it. So I'll be back tomorrow. I'll video the next part to share with you on the sanding, which will also eradicate any brush strokes that you might have got with your primer, or the stippling that I've got from the roller. But I might do you know what, whilst I'm here, I think I'm going to do a jar or something to I can stage it with. Right, I'm off to find a bottle and give that a go. See you in a minute. Right, so I have just painted this little pot. I gave it a bit of a clean. Weird thing, I can't remember what it's made out of. I've already painted it once for staging. So look, you can see that's quite brushy. Don't think it matters, it's thick. And what I've done this time, I've got myself a tray so that when I sprinkle all the bits on, the flakes on, I'm gonna, which way should I go? I'm gonna go that way up. Okay. Right, of course I'm covered in paint now. Nothing changes around here, and I'm gonna, yeah, actually I'm gonna hold it and fling. Fling, fling, fling. Well, I'm sprinkling actually, I'm not flinging. I suppose it makes more sense on a bigger piece. And that's almost done. That is such a quick, fun project. Oh, Christmas presents, I don't know. Sarah Pelly, you know what you're getting for Christmas. You're getting yourself a Fleur Flake. I really like its colours. Right. Keep going, keep going, keep going. And then we'll see how this works tomorrow with this sanding and putting this varnish on the top. Wow, cool. I think that's cool. Can you see? So you can still see the brush strokes from the primer, but you can use quite a strong sandpaper on it, a coarse grit, and so you should be able to get rid of those bits as well. But anyway, right. Ooh, I like. I'm just gonna add some extra bits around the top because, you know, I want to make it look like it's solid terrazzo, don't I? Let's see what happens. Can't wait to get this finished. Cool. What a quick and easy way of doing things. Anyway, so that's it. Fleur Flakes. I'll be back to tell you how the varnishing goes, the sanding and varnishing. Okay, I'm back. I've got this really weird little edge. Can you see it? It's actually angles back in. Now, I've just tried it on the other edge because what I want to do is I want it to look like it's solid terrazzo. So I was thinking, well, how am I going to do this? So I'll show you what I've done. I've been dabbing the filler on, okay, along this funny little edge. And then I have, with the use of a tray, been putting the flakes on. Right, hold on. So, here you go. I've got a plastic tray and I'm holding it up underneath and I'm kind of flinging and pressing. Now they are sticking out quite a bit, but and I've got masking tape on as well. But I think this is going to make it look like it's solid terrazzo. I'm so excited. Anyway, I'll come back and show you how this comes out. I'm actually going to pull the masking tape off whilst it's wet because I just find it's easier taking masking tape off. Can you see that? So that, I think that's pretty good. I mean, it needs patting in a little bit because you want it to stick to the primer. But I'm loving that. What do you think? Doesn't that make it look like a completely solid top? So tomorrow when we come back and varnish it and what have you, and sand it, it's going to be good. Okay, I'm back. Part 2 of the Fleur resin flakes things. So this is looking really good. I actually have got a brand new, just so happen to have a brand new dustpan and brush, and I'm actually going to sweep off the excess flakes because I'm feeling quite precious about them. Like, don't waste them. Wow. I think I was a little bit over generous chucking these flakes on, but how great that you can reuse them and you haven't seen the floor yet. I've got the hoover ready to come and do a big hoover after I finish this. Vacuum. Wow. So what I'm going to do now, after I've just got rid of all this, there's a lot. Doesn't seem to make much difference to the design. Anyway, so what I'm going to do next is this is the scary part. I'm going to sand. Now, I've tested this. I always think it's a good idea to have a test product. So I have tested this on my little vase. And it's really scary because as you're sanding, it kind of goes all chalky and white and you think, oh, I've ruined it. I've absolutely ruined it. I've destroyed everything. So I have sanded it and I put a coat of varnish on, the varnish that they recommend, which is quite thick because you know, you want it all to be sunk, you know, to fill in the gaps and make it like a continuous surface. So I've done that, and then when it dried, I've sanded it again, and it's lovely now. It's really starting to become like one solid piece, and I've just put a second coat on. And look, doesn't the colour, when you compare it to there, it just brings out the base coat. So I'm now going to sand, and I was like sanding with like a 240, all gently. And I then went back in with a bit of the, this is a Merca 120 on that vase, and it was absolutely fine. Oh, so I'm doing that on him. Wow. Because what you're trying to do is you're trying to make sure that the only parts that are left, let me come down and show you. You can start seeing it go white. Let me show you. Okay, so if I just stand here, I'm going to sand. I'm sanding in like little miniature circles. Miniature? Why did I say miniature? Anyway, I'm sanding. And yeah, it's really coming off. So I don't know if you can see this, if I get you in quite close. Okay, can you see this is actually starting to go white? But can you see how much of it has stayed there? And oh wow, it's absolutely gorgeous when you look at it close up. It really has a nice effect. Now that's going to sort of darken obviously when I put the varnish on. So I'm sure this is really interesting watching me sand. So what I'll do is I'll switch this off and I'll come back in a minute when I've sanded it all and it's ready to go with the varnish. Okay, I'm back. Right, I've sanded it. I've even used my Festool on it. It's absolutely terrifying and I can't believe how well stuck it all is. It's amazing. I mean, yes, loads come off, but I'm just going to wipe it over with a damp cloth. If anything, I think I've applied too much flakes. So, you know, rather than just going straight for a sideboard like I have, maybe start with a tray. But I'm just going to wipe it over with a damp cloth. Oh my goodness, because I want to get this dust off. Just can't believe how this is coming out. Look at this when you wipe it. If I bring, oh, wrong way round. Which way am I going? I don't know. Here we go, look. So, I just want to get the dust off before I put a varnish on. Because I want to see. And what I can't believe either is the upstand. You know, the little bits that I did. Here, I'll lift this up and show you. On the edge here. And this actually slants back. And so I was pretty much putting the primer on and almost like sticking the bits to it, and it's really lasted. And I've been, you know, sanding it and yeah, bits of it coming off. So if anything, I would say I put too many flakes on. But hey, for a first attempt, and learn by my mistakes, people. So anyway, I'm just wiping off the excess dust because also you know, you don't want to sort of trap that dust into the varnish. And this is just a damp microfiber cloth, just a brand new cloth, no detergent, nothing. So I just want to, because I really want these chips to pop. So this is pretty much what it's going to look like when I put the varnish on. So I don't know if you, I'll put you right down and see. What's amazing is that it's, as you're sanding it and stuff, it's almost like burnishing the chips up like proper stone. So now I'm going to put the varnish on, and you can put sort of 2 to 3 coats. And it's quite a thick varnish. It's a specific varnish that they've designed to go with this, just to sort of fill up the peaks and troughs, I suppose. So that's what's happened on this one. Now this is the matte, and I really like the way that it's really brought the colour out, including the really nice base coat. So it's, you know, the base coat colour is really going to determine what it's going to come out like. So I'm just going to put the varnish, and I've gone, like I say, I've gone for matte. I mean, maybe the satin, should I do satin? Maybe the satin would be good to really bring it out. And if I think it's too shiny, I can always go back over with some matte. Okay, that's what I'm going to do, presuming I can get the jar open. So these are their tiny little 130 jars. They're so economical. And I'm actually going to use one of their varnish brushes. It is a Fleur. You can't tell because the plastics come off, because someone has been putting it in their washing machine. And I'm just going to brush it on and see how that comes out. Now, just like with paint, you don't really want to be brushing backwards and forwards and letting the varnish create too much texture. You know, the more you brush backwards and forwards, the more air you're introducing. And you can see where you need to go by the reflection. It has an almost slightly fluorescent bluey tinge when it's wet, which really helps. And besides, I'm going to do more than one coat, so don't panic. We can always go back and do another coat. So it's quite good to stand somewhere where you can see the reflection, to see where you missed. Definitely going to need a second coat. This is nice, the satin, I like it. It's easier to go from satin to matte. Well, not so much it's easier. They say satin is a stronger varnish. Because of the shine, gives it that little bit more slip resistance. So what you should do is start off shiny, and then if you want, you can go back to matte afterwards, and then that way you get more protection. But looking at the vase that I've done, it's lovely because it sort of is just sort of melting. It's bringing it all together like it's just one piece. Oh, incredible. I'm loving this. Don't sit still too long. I'll be coming over to Fleur Flake you. Anyway, so that's kind of it really. I'm going to do 2 or 3 coats. They reckon 3 coats if you want to put it on a floor. Yes, you can put it on a floor. And you can use the resin. You could pour a resin onto the top. But I really wanted to use the varnish because people really hate varnish, and I just want everyone to see how lovely and light Fleur varnishes are, and how you've got some time there. So I can see close up a little bit of the brush strokes, which is one of the reasons I'm sort of doing this in a cross hash movement, because I think that's how I'm going to just approach the whole thing. But as I did with the vase, I sanded in between my varnish coats. That way I think we're going to get a really nice sort of stone effect. So this in the camera is making it look very, very white. It actually looks a lot darker in real life because you're really seeing the background. So I'm going to go very dark with the whole of the sideboard. It's a quirky little retro sideboard that someone gave me. Let me see, I'll show you. I don't know if you can see it. It's cute. It's cute legs. Now I can't make my mind up what colour to paint it. You see the legs? Cute, aren't they? I'm definitely going to go dark. I don't know whether to go really brave and do the jade green chips or just to stick with the charcoal. I'm not going to do white. There is actually black chips in as well, so I could go black. So I think I might, I don't know. I'll try the jade green. Anyway, I'll take some pictures. I'll put some close-up pictures in of what I've been doing and come back to you. See ya. I was just staging this piece of furniture and I thought, I didn't come back and show you how I got on with the Fleur Flakes. So just wanted to show you how it's come out. I'm absolutely in love with it. What do you think? Now, this is absolutely rock hard. It's a primer. You then put the flakes into it when it's wet. The primer has to go on quite thick because it's literally like glue that the chips have got to stick to. And then the next day you can sand it, which is bizarre. You sand it and you think you're going to lose all the chips, but my God, it's incredible. And then you put 2 or 3 coats of varnish on the top. Their varnish is a special varnish. You could even resin it. So if you wanted to do something like, if you've got like a grotty worktop around a bathroom sink or something, this would be perfect. And you could put, the 2 or 3 coats of the varnish would work, but resin would be even better still. So I just wanted to show you. And here, look, I even had a little girl on one of my little pots and things. Cute, isn't it? Comes in all different colours. And I'm really happy with it. I'll be using this again for sure. So it's on my website if you want to buy some. Let me know what you think in the comments. I would love to know.